Red Bull Wololo Legacy continues with Beastyqt in the southwest corner of the map in blue as the Delhi Sultanate, and his opponent in this set will be Vortix, playing in yellow as the Mongols. Interesting civilization matchup, both very aggressive, and that's going to be matching the aggressiveness of this map. Gorge. We've not seen it before. We've got 3 sacred sites in the middle with a central, well, gorge. It's not called gorge for nothing. And it's very difficult to wall, very open, very sparse wood lines. Speaking of wood lines, have a look at it yourself. There's a spawning base for Vortix. Well, it being the Mongols means he can't relocate his town center. He's relocated it to the wood line at the back there, but the Delhi Sultanate, look at this. This is the wood line here on the back there, the small wood line on the front, and well, that's pretty much it for quite some space, quite some distance. And with both civilizations being relatively strong with the early aggression, especially the Mongols, we could be in for a very exciting opening to this game and this set, this best of 3. The Mongols often can go for an outpost rush. Is that something we will see? And it is indeed. A villager being sent forward now. 1 villager. Now, in the most recent patches of Age of Empires 4, the outposts have been nerfed a little bit. They currently only have 750 HP, and they do take a lot longer to build. So, Vortix will have to be careful here. Will Beasty spot it? He spots a lot of sheep. That's what Beasty spots with that Delhi Sultanate scout. Khan heading towards the west side now. It will be interesting to see where that outpost goes. I suspect he won't bother with this wood line. He's going to go straight for the back wood line. If he places a outpost here, he is coming in from the east. That will be the most optimal location. If he can get hold of control of this wood line, Beasty could be in a bit of trouble, because where would he go for wood other than that? Would have to go towards the west side. There's not much wood there. This is a primary source of wood for the Delhi Sultanate, which are now going up to the feudal age with the Dome of the Faith landmark. Enables the production of scholars at minus 40% cost, and but they are produced a bit slower there. Oh, that's actually a bonus there, so they produce faster as well. 50% less speed time it's taken. Wait, minus 50% slower? That's kind of confusing on the wording, but I believe they produce faster. Wait, wording is very confusing there, but that actually makes it sound like it is slower. I think it's 50% slower to produce. It's a double negative. Anyway, we won't focus on that. Main thing is that the outpost is going there for Vortix with 2 spearmen in to protect that position, and I'm not sure if Beasty notices that. That could become a problem. Beasty not noticing. Let's take a look if he sees that. Doesn't seem like he does at this point. That could become a bit of a concern. He notices it now. It's getting the palisades there to offer a little bit of protection to stop a further possible outpost coming there, but something that Beastyqt will need to find a way of dealing with this is going to be going to the next stage. That will certainly help him. Vortix, on the other hand, obviously a bit delayed with the early outpost rush, does have 3 villages on gold, so we'll be able to afford the gold income or gold amount he needs for the next stage. Getting a pasture on the Ovu. We're looking to get some sheep towards that central town centre. Going to the town centre, protect the woodline just a little bit. Relocating that woodline a little bit, lumber camp, but this does limit Vortix. Well, Vortix has limited Beastyqt slightly there, and is aware that the villager might try and chop through, and that's exactly what Vortix was trying to do, but Beastyqt is aware of it. He's going to wall in behind that, and Beastyqt, certainly one of the favourites to win Red Bull Wololo Legacy outright, so Vortix will have something to say about that. Spearmen aren't going to be able to outrange, or the outpost isn't going to be able to outrange or range those villagers, it seems. Although the villagers won't be able to get too much closer. Well, that villager might go down. Beastyqt has the presence of mind to micro. Oh, just survives with 2 HP. That is actually quite huge, because that worker is now valuable still. We're continuing to work, but if he does get too close to the outpost, that could become a problem. You can see a scouting falcon placed there by Vortix, but he does lose the scout. Archery range coming down for the Delhi Sultanate, looking to try and push those spearmen back. Spearmen leave the head back. There's a villager there, heading back for Vortix. Scout notices it. It will be the deer stones, the landmark of choice for the Mongols, with 5 villagers building it. Now, this landmark is a landmark which actually increases the movement speed of units that are within the range of the landmark or outposts. Very nice bonus for the Mongols. She goes towards that outpost. Wants to prevent a donation there. A little bit of a shooting star. Holy moly. Can you guys see that? Going towards the house, going towards the town centre. Type a 1 in the comment section below if you can see that shooting star. Anyway. Villagers now do have to back off from that wood line, can't get close to the outpost anymore, has to relocate. Take straggler for the meantime. Does have a couple of those scholars healing up those villagers. Overall, decent defense there from the outpost rush for Vortix, for Beastyqt rather, his defense, and he's going to be sending some archers forward. Or at least rally them forward, and he's going to be taking the forward wood line. Deer stones will be going up, pastures, sheep coming out to maintain that food economy. Now the question is whether Vortix will opt for a fast castle behind this. Try and pile on the pressure in the castle age, or will he try and get some feudal age army? It'll be interesting to see this one because I suspect Beastyqt looks like he's going for a feudal age aggression, especially with the barracks, and you almost feel like Vortix can't afford to go castle age at this point, because if he does, he might offer a lot of map control to Beastyqt and access to those sacred sites. Also, the Delhi Sultanate have an interesting research. Sanctity allows the scholars to capture sacred sites an age earlier, i.e. in the feudal age, and be able to generate 50% more gold from those sacred sites. So certainly an interesting win condition for the Delhi Sultanate available. In fact, it's a win condition we've seen earlier on in a previous set. I'm not going to spoil it. I have casted a lot of the sets from the Red Bull Wololo Legacy. If you want to see a playlist of that, I'll drop a link in the video description, but also at the end of the video you'll see a little end card you can press if you want to see some more coverage of this fantastic $300,000 tournament for Red Bull Wololo Legacy for Age of Empires 4. See the scouting falcon there on the screen. Archers push back the Khan just ever so slightly. Looks like Beastyqt is quite keen on getting a lot of wood. He needs that for the army, but also probably want to bank a little bit in case he's pushed off this. Looks like Vortix might indeed be opting for a castle age because he's still got 3 villages on gold, and that kind of signifies that position. Might be looking to try and deny some of the sacred sites for a little while though, at least. Does lose a sheep there, the Khan. Notices the scholars going on the west side sacred site first. I wonder if Vortix kind of caught in 2 minds. He does have 2 archers coming out now from the archery range. Does have a blacksmith, so he will be certainly considering, well, he will be contesting and he will be committing to the feudal age. In fact, the gold income will be helping from upgrades, I suspect. And that is indeed the case. That's what he's spending the gold on. Steel to arrow. Delhi Sultanate traditionally do this thing where they build the palisade walls with the infantry. And that's exactly what Beastyqt is going to try and do. Try and keep the sacred site if he can. Get that 150 gold per minute, which is certainly a good boost for the economy. We're going to get the central sacred site as well, protected by a spear, splitting up the army. 2 archers going to head that direction though. Vortix should be able to deny that. Oh, Beastyqt might be under pressure here. It looks like he has textiles. He does indeed have textiles. Those villagers should be able to escape. Archer does focus fire on that villager. Villager does go down there on that wood line. Another part of the wood line denied. Looks like Beastyqt is going to have to head on to that west side now. Arrow slits is in play there for Vortix. But despite not having any units garrisoned inside, you'll be able to pile on the pressure. Scholar will be going down there. Good choice for Vortix to try and take that out. And the archer numbers building up here. Oh, this is not a good place for Beastyqt to be. He's only got 2 archers there. Might lose one. Good aggression here for Vortix and the Mongols so far, but the sacred site on the west side has been captured by Beastyqt, nicely walled in as well. So he'll keep holding that for now, because if there's no melee units for Vortix to break in, and Vortix will have to be content with that so far. Maybe behind this could consider going to the castle age. He's got plenty of food coming in. Perhaps not as much gold as he would want, but going to just camp out here. We shall see if things develop. Oh, Beastyqt loses some more villages. He's struggling for wood. This outpost doing so well as the Mongols for Vortix. Well, he might lose another villager if he's not careful. The outpost not focusing on the villager, focusing on the lumber camp, and he misses an opportunity there, but it is what it is. Villagers now going towards the west side wood line. Vortix will be aware of that, should be aware of that. Will he pile on the pressure? The west side, is he trying to break through? Nope, he's not breaking through that sacred side just yet. Sending archers that way though. This could become a problem for Beastyqt because he's invested in spears. This is a fight that Beastyqt... Oh, actually, he does have quite a few scholars, so it could be a fight he could win. Possibly. But Vortix won't mind taking the fight. We're taking a lot of spearmen outplay, but the spearmen aren't helping Beastyqt anyway. More as a meat shield. Might lose 1 scholar, does do so. Might lose a second. This is a bad fight with Beastyqt. Vortix playing this incredibly well. Spearmen heading forward, trying to buy some time. Being healed by the scholars. This is a great engagement for Vortix so far. Look at the destruction value. 1,360 for Vortix, 600 for Beasty. Doing well here, Vortix, but Beastyqt getting that sort of passive gold income. 34 villagers to 31, but this certainly helps this sacred site on the west side, and Vortix can look to be aggressive. Will we see a stable being placed down? That's exactly what the Delhi Sultanate are doing. You can just kind of read this game so far, how it's heading in, and this might force Vortix into some spears. He does have the barracks already, of course. Oh, this is a big find for Beasty, for Vortix. Beasty in all sorts of trouble. Villagers being pulled, villagers being idled, and this is what we talked about earlier. Vortix must know this is the wood area that he's getting the wood from, and this just shows you the presence of mind. We see everything. Vortix only sees his point of view, but he's picking off villagers. But he is under pressure now. He's going to take a fight. There are scholars being used to heal up those units. Looks like Vortix is going to focus on the scholars for now. Spearmen as well. There is a horseman on the field though, and that's a problem for Vortix, because that horseman will tank a lot of damage. You can see just one horseman can become a problem. Vortix needs spearmen. He needs to get out of here, because whilst he will maybe take a lot of casualties for Beastyqt, that horseman is going to get a lot of value. Another horseman heading in as well. Now Vortix will lose his archers here most likely, but he got so much value and it's certainly worth it. He picked off a lot of villagers, kept a lot of idle time. You can see a villager difference of 7. Whilst the archers will be lost, it seems like it was worth it. It gives the signal for Vortix to start producing those spears. He's not actually producing any just yet. Maybe opting to go to the castle age instead, and that is indeed the case. He's gone up with the step redoubt. This is fantastic play by Vortix. With this valley, behind all that pressure, he's managed to get up to the next stage, and that is huge because now he's going to be having castle age units coming in. Beastyqt, you feel like he's struggling in here. Despite being one of the favourites, he's going to struggle. He does have more military though. 25 is lots of standing army. Could either do one of two things here. Be aggressive with his military, which it looks like he's going to be doing, or go to the castle age. The question is whether Vortix can hold on. Going to the castle age for Vortix means he did have to stop producing military. And that's something that the Daily Sultanate can do incredible amounts of in the feudal age. Especially with efficient production, which is one of the technologies they can use to garrison these production buildings. As you can see, there's a 1 out of 1 there. It means there's a scholar in there producing or increasing the speed at which that stable produces. So effectively 2 stables for the price of 1 there. And this means that Vortix has to give away some map control. It means that second sacred site will be coming in for the Daily Sultanate. It means that the castle age uptime will be a little bit quicker because of that gold trickle coming in. You can pull away some villagers off of gold there, Beastyqt, to go for food instead. And also trying to get some raiding damage here, but the knight does come out there for Vortix, a lancer. And a fascinating game on the gorge so far. Vortix going to the next stage though will certainly be helpful. He needs to put on some pressure though. He needs to make this castle age count for something. It's double stable. Go for another archery range as well. Gonna go for heavy aggressive play in the castle age. Feels like Beastyqt needs to pile on some pressure whilst he can. Sending the army forward now. 1 lancer won't cut it there for Vortix. 36 military to 10. Beastyqt on the back of this is doubling down. He's going heavy feudal age. He's not going to the castle age anytime soon. You can see on the food count and the banked up food he has, only 82. He's going castle age. He's going feudal age rather. Heavily aggression. Vortix is going to have to hold on here. Doesn't have the ability to walls as the Mongols. And this gold is going to be under pressure. Beastyqt recognizing this is a key strategic area. Vortix needs to pull out of this position. Might lose some villagers otherwise. He's not noticed it just yet. Doesn't have textiles either. Villagers have to be pulled back. Lancers do try to be as meat shield. Quite a few spearmen there still though. A couple of archers there for Vortix. He needs to focus on those spears, but with the Delhi Sultanate scholars, that's going to be a problem for Vortix to deal with. Villagers are getting harassed and idled there. Is there another gold? There's only another gold there in the southeast. That's a position that Vortix might need to go to and protect. But this is certainly the engagement that Beastyqt will want. There are a couple of lancers. This is a fight that Beasty almost could be tricky. Does have a good number of scholars, but quite a few lancers there. If the lancers start to dominate the fight, which they are now, horseman, meat shield goes down, the spearmen go down as well. This is a problem for Beasty. He's lost this fight, and the scholars do have to back off. The archers going to be tickling these lancers aren't going to be enough, and this is a good fight for Vortix, that's for sure, especially with the veteran archers in behind. The tech up really helping. Beastyqt struggling in the feudal age. He needs a way to get up to the next stage himself, but he can't. He doesn't have the food. Army really starting to build up now. The tech up for Vortix coming into play. These units are just premium units. They're so much better. But the gold income looking good for Beasty, struggling on the food. Iron Undermesh coming in for Beasty. I'm not sure how much that's going to help, especially when it's under so much pressure. And now look at the military numbers, 20 units versus 30. And those 20 units, I'll take those 20 units for Vortix any day of the week. Because now it's going to pile on the pressure. He's going to regain his map control. Maybe look to decap those sacred sites. Vortix looking to play this one incredibly nicely here. He's doing really well. He's going to be picking off reinforcements as well. This is an engagement that maybe Vortix can take. There are a couple of spearmen though. That's not ideal. It's going to delay the engagement as much as he can to try and pick off as many spearmen as possible. The spearmen numbers dwindle. Those lancers get free reign, and lancers do get free reign. There it is. GG. GG gets called, and Vortix takes game number 1 of this best of 3 set. What a fantastic opening to the set. Holy smokes. Game number 2 will be next. Stick around. It's coming right up. Welcome to game number 2. We have got Beastyqt in the south corner of the map, playing in blue as the Chinese, and in the north, Vortix playing in yellow as the Malians. The map being Golden Heights, one of the new maps for Red Bull Wololo Legacy, and a very interesting map because both players are just across from each other, across this kind of cliff edge and the wood lines. But something very fascinating is on the east. There's fishing economy to be had. There's this lake with lots of shore fish as well as a couple of deep water fish spots. Only 3 on this map generation, so it's something that sometimes players contest. And well, whilst the Chinese can be looking to be very boomy like in terms of economy, they also do have the ability to supervise production buildings. And you can see already a village coming out here for Beastyqt, 2 villages for the Malians for Vortix, looking to get those docks up. So looks like Vortix is going to be building the dock with 3 villagers. Beastyqt trying to quick wall, trying to keep that villager safe, but not managing to. The scout's still there. 2 villagers on the chase with the scout for Beasty. This is not something that Beasty will want to lose. Scout getting involved though for Vortix a little bit earlier than the Vite would want. Scout there for Vortix, a bit low on HP, 2 villagers versus 1. Now the Chinese do build very fast, so this villager should be able to get this dock up in time, and that's one of the bonuses of the Chinese. But also, we see a barracks going down soon for Beastyqt. Can't afford it just yet, of course. Invested the wood, does lose that villager, but we'll be getting the fishing ships, and the fishing economy will be up and running now for the Chinese very soon. Vortix getting a fishing ship of his own in the dock, and now it could be the race to the feudal age. Trouble is for Vortix is that the Chinese do have a very nice economy, especially with the Imperial Official. In fact, he has not got an Imperial Official actually. He's going for just a bit more of a eco approach in terms of getting to the next stage a bit quicker, because the Imperial Official will cost gold. We shall see how Beasty decides to play this. He is now transitioning some villages onto gold. He'll want to get to that feudal age as soon as possible. Getting a galley out nice and early, or in this case, for the Chinese, a junk. That will certainly help. A hunting canoe is the alternative, or the opposite. The counterpart, we should say, for the Malians. Fishing boat is now out on about. Now the distance is probably a little bit equidistant between the fish and the dock for both players, but there are 3 villages on the shoreline here. Vortix needs to be careful about that. Needs to keep these villagers safe. There's a lot more to lose for him. Hang on a minute. What is going on here? There's a transport ship. I'm not sure what this is about. What is this? Oh, this is something new. We've not seen this before. Holy smokes. Get villagers in the transport ships and it kind of acts like a galley almost. Probably not as much attack. Let's just check this bad boy and how much attack it's got. In fact, we can't, because from Beasty's point of view, let's change over to Vortix. In fact, we can't check the attack. We can't check the stats, but it would have been amazing. Such an interesting way to play the game. There is a fish boat coming in. I'm not sure if this is worth it. Beastyqt is able to repair and was trying to body block and stop the fishing ship to garrison inside, but he's idling the economy. I'm not sure. I think it's worth it. He's got 3 villagers idled, but he has idled up 3 fishing ships. Beastyqt is going to micro this, trying to deposit the food. Oh, he gets it in, and that fishing ship is now safe. This is really interesting in the micro battle. Kind of don't want to look away. He's not able to block it in. That's a bit unfortunate there for Vortix. Not able to block that fishing ship garrisoning inside. Gets inside. As we see, an interesting mechanic. Hasn't got a pit mine just yet, Vortix, to get to the next stage. So no passive gold generation. Not sure if there's a bit of an oversight. I don't know what's going on there, because the earlier he gets the pit mine, the more gold he gets, but not able to afford it just yet. But it's just coming out now, trying to torch down that dock, and with the scout. Quite an investment with the transport ship, though. It cost 100 wood. But just garrison inside. Will Beastyqt pay attention? He's getting healed up. Yep. Oh, does he get it? No, he's not able to block it out. Oh, he does. He blocks it out. Vortix takes a fishing ship. These small differences may make a big difference in the end, as the Imperial Academy is being built by the Chinese. Now, I feel like there's a bigger difference here, because that feudal age is really going to help the Chinese, and it means that, well, Beastyqt is going to be able to afford a galley relatively soon, and that's a big problem for the Malians. And yeah, okay, it was nice to watch, but I'm not sure what's getting the value he wants. A really interesting show here by Vortix, I have to say. 4 points for creativity, trying to body block that fishing ship gets in, and he is idling the economy though, somewhat. But the trouble for Vortix is behind this is the Chinese are going up to the next stage, and don't forget the villagers build fast. He's going up with only 1 villager though, but he still probably feels reassured that it's going to go up faster than his opponent. Now the pit mine gets put down, so the gold passive generation will start to come in now. The house is boosting that up, but yeah, big investment, that 100 wood in the I think it's 3 villagers in here too. Oh, might be able to get 1 more fishing ship potentially. Oh no, doesn't manage it. Beastyqt managed to get the fishing ship inside, and that's huge. Holy smokes, big micro battle villagers, and scout come out and continue to torch that dock. Now, do you know what? This could be a key bit of detail. Vortix does need to take care of this dock, definitely before the feudal age comes in, or at least before a galley comes out. I'm not sure he's going to be able to manage it in time. Barbican in the Sun, where is that going to be placed? Let's just have a look. We place defensively at home on the berries and the wood line, protecting his economy. Holy smokes, there's a lot of sheep coming in for the Chinese. That'll sustain their economy, their food economy at least, for quite some time. Don't garrison inside here, Vortix. Try and take out the dock, I think, but although it might not be enough time, I don't think it will be. It's going to be 20 seconds for the junk to come out. The junk's probably going to come out quick enough. That's a concern now for Vortix, that's for sure. Will it come down to this? Will the junk make it in time? I think it will. It doesn't look like that dock is going to go down quick enough. Doesn't have enough torch damage. This is a big result for Beastyqt once that junk comes out. Those villagers will be at risk. Oh, it's on fire though. It's on fire. There will be one junk. That junk can make a decision. Either take out and try and protect the... Well, the dock's on fire, so villagers would have to be pulled to repair that. No villagers on site. Now, the archer ships don't have 100% accuracy, as you can see. Villagers do garrison inside. Now, junk not focusing on the fishing ships. The fishing economy is still active for Vortix somewhat. Vortix still not up to the next stage. Going up with 4 villagers of the Mountain Quarry, going to repair the transport ship. He's trying to hold off for as long as he can, but this is a big brain play. This is fantastic to watch. The dock, will it go down? 40 HP on that. There's no villager in sight. It looks like the dock's going down. Holy smokes, this is working. This crazy strategy with the transport ship is actually working for Vortix. Unbelievable. The fishing economy is going to be hampered though somewhat because of the junk. But Vortix getting good value. Going to get to the next stage. He'll be able to get a archer ship of his own. There's no reinforcements coming in for the Chinese. I think Beastyqt is going to try and hold on as much as he can. Try and do as much damage to the fishing economy as he can. Might lose one more. He might be transitioning to land economy. He's got a lot of sheep there. And it is being supervised by the mill, so not entirely too terrible, but he is going to be giving up water control here. Oh, more villagers pulled, 6 of them. They could go on shorefish. There's the next stage up. This is turning into a fascinating game number 2. Vortix showing us a really incredible new strategy is get some Donso on the field as well. Looking to be aggressive on land as well as water. And he's won the water. What does Beastyqt do now? He's going to go for predominantly land booming, going for a second town centre. Does have Song Dynasty, so he's well placed to do so. I was about to get Imperial Examinations, thought better of it. Imperial Examinations would increase the maximum gold amount carried by Imperial officials from 40 to 80. A very nice bonus there would have been had. Scout going towards the Barbican Sun. Walls coming up. Donso's there in the nick of time. Oh, he didn't attack move. He spots it now though. Good awareness by Vortix. Trying to stand in the way. Oh, the wall does go up at the end. Unfortunate for Vortix. But he knows that his opponent's going to try and wall up, and it's got the fish booming underway. Looking strong for the economy point of things. Having said that, it is 41 to 39. The Song Dynasty is looking strong for the Chinese. 2 town centres as well. Will this push Malians into a second town centre? Going for the mill on the deer stack. Beastyqt looking to try and extend the length of the game, trying to make the bonus of the Chinese Song Dynasty pay for itself. How will Vortix play this though? Will he look to try and be aggressive in the feudal age? Might be difficult with the Barbican and the Sun and 2 town centres being next to each other. The Chinese can often do this. They can sometimes surrender map control, but boom very hard behind it and then slowly push out. But is this a bridge too far? Because there's a lot of fish to be gathered here. And it's not so much just the numbers, but it's also the efficiency. Food from the fish is the most efficient you can get food from. And also it's going to get passive gold from the pit mines that are remaining uncontested. Doesn't have the palisade walls on the west side, but does have some archers will push away the Donso, so we'll have those walls up. Just a matter of time. Wheelbarrow is also in for the Chinese, but not for the Malians. Only just got the wheelbarrow, only just got the mill up anyway for the Malians. We're passively getting gold from the Manzikori as well. 75 gold per minute. Can be toggled to stone, but no signs of that happening. Not just yet anyway. Ooh, try to chop through with a villager. Might be a bit of a waste there. Trying to wall that up. Looks like the Chinese will wall that behind that. Oh, I thought for a second there might be a sneaky dock. There isn't. But with only 3 deep water fish, this is not necessarily too terrible. There is a lot of shorefish to be had, but the fishing ships don't really necessarily gather super fast from the shorefish. Still helpful though, kind of acts almost like a second town centre, although it's limited to food as a resource gathering. Villagers going forward, 4 of them, maybe looking to outpost. That is indeed the case. There's not much military on the field here for Vortix to defend this, only 4. versus the 10 for Beastyqt. So Beastyqt not being too passive. He's going to look to be a bit aggressive here with the outpost, and this is not something that can be denied, especially with the villager speed in building. That outpost will certainly go up, and will this trigger Vortix to be a bit more aggressive? No, he's going for the Castle Age, going up with the Farimba garrison. That will essentially enable the units to be produced quickly. Barracks and archery range units at 5 at a time. The unit cost is converted to gold, so he will need a lot more gold. Interesting choice. It's up to the Castle Age now. Beastyqt will need to be aggressive potentially. Might be looking to go for some Musafadi warriors. We shall see. No, he won't really, because against the archers, the Musafadi warriors melt. We'll see. Who he decides to go for. It does have 2 stables, so we'll maybe looking to go for the Sofa instead. But look at that. Castle Age coming in for Beastyqt himself. He is no slouch when it comes to... Oh, this is so strong for the Chinese. Look at the villager or the eco count. 66 versus 50. 2 town center Song Dynasty. Castle Age not too far behind, and especially with the speed of building for the Chinese, going to be up to the Castle Age in no time. Getting an outpost there with the hand cannon slits coming in soon. Piling on pressure, taking out some houses, forcing the wood investment to go down the drain a little bit there for the Malians. Not so much, the houses only cost 5 wood, but still something that Vortix will have to replace. There's Castle Age for Beastyqt, getting the Imperial examinations as well, and veteran upgrades to his spearmen. This is kind of a problem here for Vortix. The military is behind on military and economy. It just comes down to the power of the Chinese. Or might be losing a villager here or two for the wolves. Something Vortix needs to address. I'm not sure if he spotted it. In any case, it's being pressured. Something that needs to find a response. The problem for the Malians as well is that it's going for Sofa. That could be relatively easy countered by the spearmen. These are hardened spearmen as well. Just feels like Vortix doesn't really have a counter to this. This is a problem for him. He may need to go for straight archers at this point, but the trouble with that is that there's Zhuganu, and that's just better. Those are just better units. Sofa going to head through, but the spearman might just turn around and fight. He's going to fight underneath the outpost. And, oh, that's a bad engagement for the Sofa. Going to try and fight this, but the spearmen are there. Although there aren't huge numbers of the spearmen, but still not a trade that Vortix wants to take. He thinks better of it. He heads back, wants more numbers. Getting another pit mine there on the eastern side of the previous pit mine that's been taken out. Wheelbarrow still not in for Vortix, so the economy is really dwindling, 82 to 55, and oof, from here you just feel like the Chinese are really going to be pushing ahead. Especially if Vortix can't push this position. This outpost has been fortified as well. This offers a very good staging ground for the Chinese. Engagement is happening though. Sofa looking to take out the spearmen. If the spearmen go down, that could become a problem. Jukunu will be at the mercy, and that looks like to be the case because there are veteran archers there for the Malians. Looks like Vortix is starting to push us back. This could be significant. Does still have the outpost to contend with. The archers and the Jugnu do garrison inside the outpost. Wants to stay in there for as long as possible. Thing is, the Sofa trying to torch this down, but this has been upgraded. I need a ram here. Certainly a great decision to upgrade that and fortify this outpost. Gonna try and torch it down still, nevertheless, with 7 Sofa. All spearmen coming in though for Beasty to try and defend this position. It certainly offers Beastyqt some time. Behind this, it's got a strong economy, and just get the feeling as time wears on, Beastyqt will be pushing forward. It has 3 siege units, probably in the form of Nesta bees. Let's just see. Yep, I think it's +3. That's the population space it takes actually. So it's just 1 unit. 3+ means that I think it's population space that it takes. Yep, 1 Nesta bees. That'll deal with the archers quite nicely there. Beastyqt controlling the game so far. Despite not having water, Chinese faring incredibly well with the 2 Tao Zeta Song Dynasty. Malians struggling to hold on with the economy, and the Malians have been kind of underwhelming so far in the tournament, and I think we're seeing the reason why. Despite Vortix playing really well in the early game, the economy just not there for him. Nesta bees does unpack itself, gets a couple of fireworks out. Equal military numbers. That's not what Vortix wants though, especially when he's so far behind on economy. Farming transition coming in with the granary adds insult to injury in terms of economy bonuses, and we'll be getting a monastery for some relics to be picked up as well. This outpost is so clutch. It protects the sacred site, protects the gold and this relic. Fantastic position for the outpost. Sofa head in to try and torch this again. Will this cause Beasty to head back in with the spearmen and Nesta bees? That is indeed the case. The spearmen will counter the Sofa, the Nesta bees will counter the archers. This is looking good for Beastie, especially in terms of the army composition, but he's losing quite a bit of health on this outpost. Spearmen aren't too mobile. I think Beastie's going to hold on now. Might not want to take this engagement. The two Nested Bees do fire off. Takes a bit of HP off those Suffer. Those Suffer are actually pretty vulnerable. Something happening in the north. Bit of a raid with Palace Guards. This is a fantastic play by Beastyqt. Vortix hasn't realised he might lose a lot of villagers on the wood line. He does. Villagers do get pulled back though. Still, there's something that Beastie's done incredibly well with that raiding, and well, Vortix is going to have to find a way to deal with that. It's going to have to send army there. Buys even more time. Suffer engaged with the Spearman. That's not ideal. Vortix looked away for a second. Nested Bees fire off and the Archer's under attack and loses a lot of HP. Beastie playing this perfectly so far. Fantastically well. Getting the Archer upgrade, the second melee armor rather. Getting the gold mining, or the just the mining upgrade. Well, Beastyqt doubling down, getting the eco upgrades. It's got the second wood upgrade as well. So not only is it up in terms of numbers, in terms of economy, it's getting a lot of the upgrades. No wheelbarrow even for the Malians. Palace Guards keeping a lot of villagers idled. This is not looking great for Vortix rather. And Beastyqt behind this stone walling this right side. Holy smokes, getting a lot of map control by doing so. And he's looking good here. 29 military. Vortix does have 41 military apparently. Does have a lot of archers and Suffer, but trouble is his army is relatively countered here. Re-establishing control in the middle though, Vortix with the army. Production speed is good with the landmark he went for. Trouble is the game goes even longer and longer. The longer the game goes on, you favour the Chinese. 4 Nested Bees. I think if you're Vortix, you've got to try and pile on the pressure somehow. How will he do it though? With the static defences that Beastie has put in place in terms of walls, it's going to be a struggle. Has an outpost there as well. Beastie got plenty of vision. He knows what's happening. They're just going to come through, maybe to try and chop through, but Beastie's aware of it. Beastie playing this incredibly well. Game number 2. Beastie, of course, needs to win this game to have a chance in the set. He lost game number 1. He's looking in good shape in this game. Palisade Wall's going through, and that buys even more time for Beastyqt to make sure the economy is doing well. Beastyqt knows that if the game goes late, he is often comparatively relatively a stronger player. Many would argue that same. Beastyqt really does thrive in the late game, especially with the civilization like the Chinese. Nested Bees get a good engagement. Spearmen there as well. Archers are going to try and take out the Spearmen numbers. Spearmen are going to protect the siege, and Vortix is diving in, and I'm not sure this is the play. The Spearmen are going to take out a lot of the Suffer. The Nested Bees get pulled behind the walls. Might lose one, but he's lost so many Suffer in order to do so. Nested Bees get the fireworks on the Archers. This is a big engagement. But the Spearmen are a bit vulnerable to the Archers without any meat shield in front. The Nested Bees are catching up, and this is going to push this back, and there it is. There's the GG. Vortix taps out. He knows he's behind, and the Chinese are triumphant on this map. Beastyqt pulls one back. We're heading into game number 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3. We are diving in the deep end because Beastyqt is playing on the west side of Mediterranean in blue as the English, and Vortix on the east side of the map in yellow as the Holy Roman Empire. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 3rd game, and the winner of this game will progress to the quarterfinals of Red Bull Wololo Legacy for Age of Empires 4. And well, we're gonna have a banger of a game. I can guarantee you that almost, because these two civilizations are no joke when it comes to hybrid maps. The English have cheaper units on the navy side of things, but the Holy Roman Empire have a powerful economy with the prelate, inspiring these villagers to gather resources 40% faster. And something we see already, Beastyqt dragging away 4 villagers from food to shorefish, making use of the fact that the villagers gather food really fast from the shorefish. And this is interesting as an adaptation to the build. You can see this sometimes in Mediterranean if you spawn very close to the water, which is exactly what's happened for Beastie. He's also going to be getting the deep water fish with the fishing ship, so the food economy is going to be looking really strong for the English. And whilst we said that the English don't have an economy bonus, well, Beastyqt has gone ahead and just made one of his own, because these fish economy from these fishing ship, these villagers rather, is really going to help him have a fast uptime, and even actually comparable with the Holy Roman Empire. In fact, I think this move from Beastyqt will mean that his uptime will be quicker than the Holy Roman Empire, and well, you very rarely can say that. The Holy Roman Empire is going for the fishing ships as you'd expect. The prelate inspiring the villagers on wood, and well, to get to the next stage, you need food and gold. It looks like Vortix is focusing on the speed of income of the resources to be focused on wood. Beastyqt making use of the shorefish. I feel like this is going to be an interesting one because it looks like Beastyqt might be able to draw first blood on water. In any case, long-term strategy, the Holy Roman Empire, incredibly strong civilization throughout all the ages. But where the English really shine is in the super late game, where they can effectively have infinite gold. Now, with this essentially this last game of the set, everything rides on this in terms of getting to the quarterfinals. I mean, of course, the loser of this game will have a second chance, but you know, you don't really want to leave these things to a second chance, and Beastyqt does have a crazy win condition if the game goes super late, and we know how strong Beastyqt can be in the late game. Could this be something that he's going to look to try and drag this game out as long as possible? As we see Vortix going for a second dock. Now, Vortix will be aware of this. He's got a lot of sheep with that scout. He'll be aware that there's villagers on the shorefish. But it'll be super interesting to see what the uptime is. You can see the food income per minute is actually better here for Beastyqt. Often we go for the villager view, how many villagers you have and resources, but at this point, considering the number of variables, I think actually the rate per minute is actually a bit more valuable to us in terms of information. Look at this. Gold income looking good. He's looking good to get to the next stage here, Beastyqt, at a super fast time considering the map. And looks like now Vortix is going to go towards gold. He recognizes he needs to get up to the next stage. But there we are. 4 villagers on the council hall. It means that Beastyqt should be able to afford some galleys and maybe get the first blood in terms of fishing economy. That could be huge. I hope you guys are enjoying the casted game so far. My coverage of the Red Bull Wololo Legacy. I'm going to try and cast as many of them as I possibly can for you. And, you know, if you do enjoy the content, do think about subscribing to the channel. And I will be having a playlist of all my Red Bull Wololo casts. So if you have maybe some sets that you missed, some sets you want to catch up on, and who knows, maybe many years down the line you're reminiscing of this tournament. If you want to check out the games, do check out the video playlist. I'll leave a link to that in the video comments as a pinned comment and in the video description. Speaking of comments, certainly got to make a comment on the number of sheep is bringing in. Obviously not going to be hugely important in this map where fishing economy is really the focus. But if either player does get pushed off the waters, might need to transition to food economy on land, and well, the English are pretty well placed to do so with the cheaper farms. It's certainly less than ideal. Now this is an interesting play because winning water is not everything. With the emplacements that you can get from docks, it does mean you can have some shorefish available, and what Beastyqt is doing is very, I think it's measured, and it's probably likely that he's measuring this, doing it on purpose. He's actually spreading out the dock positions. He's keeping coverage of the shoreline, so even if he does necessarily lose the water, at least the deep water fish, he'll still have some pockets of shore water or shoreline fish that he might be able to gather. But of course, that's a contingency plan. He won't want to lose water, that is for sure. He's going to be able to queue up some galleys, already queuing one up on the second dock that was built, the new one. Vortix going up with the Ark and Chapel, not going to be too far behind, going up the 7 villagers. There is a bit of a lead time bonus there that Beastyqt has had. Not all that much when you consider the travel time it will take to get across across the pond. It means that fast up time is not necessarily going to count too much in the favour of Beastyqt. Does have 2 docks of his own, Vortix. Will we see a third dock coming up for Beasty? We shall see. He's investing in double broadaxe first, which is a sensible idea, increasing the efficiency of his lumber villagers. The Ark and Chapel working quite nicely. 36 economy units for Vortix. The galley does head forward, but here come in the reinforcements. There's a Hulk here on the field here. Now we talked about the army composition on Navy and how kind of underwhelming Springald ships often are unless they are in huge numbers, and the fact that archer ships in big numbers can really take cost-effective fights. And we've done this on my own testing. I've casted another game, another set, which I'm not going to spoil, but it was between Marine Lord and Iron Magic, and it just showed the power of archer ships in general in the current balance of Age of Empires 4. But we do see Beastyqt matching that up. He's getting a Hulk of his own, so another player going for huge masses of archer ships. Navy fight might be ensuing soon. Now this is a concern for Beasty because really you always feel like you're behind when you're up against the Holy Roman Empire, just purely because of the strength of the economy. And the prelate does have a couple of longbowmen on the field, will be pushing away those villagers, does get a villager kill there. You see she's laying there. But Beastyqt will need to do some damage on land because you always feel you're behind against the HRE with that 40% faster gathering speed. It has a third dock as well now, Vortix, so is in prime position to try and win the waters. As the army does start to come forward, but there's a bit of an engagement. Beastyqt not backing away, not shying away from the fight. 3 Springald ships though, 2 for Beastyqt, and this is a fight that might be spiraling out of control. Looks like Vortix has got the better production, especially with the 3 docks, but defender's advantage is certainly in the favour of Beastyqt. Fishing ship's going to be tanking a lot of the shots here. Looks like Beastyqt going to try and heal up his units, needs to try and put pressure onto this. Doesn't want to give up too much control of the waters, but on the right side, on land, he's developing, he's placing the palings. Going to try and harass his villagers on wood, and he's keeping a lot of villagers idle there. There's still wood to be taken on the west side. Less than ideal there for Vortix, not the most efficient gathering. Is denying the Ark and Chapel, and that's actually huge. We talk about the bonus that the Holy Roman Empire get with the 40%, but well, it's being denied right now. There's 3 docks though. Fascinating game. Couple of demolition ships. We need to keep an eye on those. Could see some big bada booms. Beastyqt, considering the circumstances, playing this incredibly nicely. Demo ships heading forward. They're leading the way, leading the charge, and denying the Ark and Chapel is pretty impressive. There are some horsemen diving into the palings though. The archers, the longbows might not be there for too long. Demo ships on either side of the army. Beautiful naval fight ensuing. And the archer ships, Springald ships, going to be focusing the archer ships. Demos trying to get close. Archer ships will take apart those demo ships if they get close enough. And because the demo ships they're not being able to get too close. One does go down, another one goes down. Doesn't get too much value from it. Defender's advantage. Holy smokes rather. Holy mokes. Words are struggling today, but it's been a long day. Lots of casting games, and this is certainly a game that I do not want to miss because holy moly, Beastyqt having to retreat now. He tried to take an engagement, tried to force a fight, but it really didn't pay off. He's going to try and bring some reinforcements. Vortix smells blood though. He feels like he might take the waters, and you could blame him with the numbers he's got. Got some demolition ships in behind as well. Looking to take a fight now. This could be a problem for Beastyqt. He might lose the waters. Takes the engagement. Springald ships on the front line, tanking a lot of the damage. Demo ships though there for the HRE. That's a problem. Numbers are dwindling now for Beasty. He's struggling. Fishing ships being holy moly, what happened there? Was that a demo ship? Either way, Vortix lost a lot, and he has to head back home. That is a huge swing, and you just get the feeling that's happening on water fights. Defender's advantage really helps. But Vortix being sent home, tail between his legs, and feels like this is a really good game so far. Back and forth. Third dock does now get placed for Beastyqt. He's going for I think that's Admiralty, which increases the range combat of the ships by +1. I believe that the Holy Roman Empire get an upgrade later on in the ages, if I'm not mistaken, which enables the the ships generally to actually regenerate health like chivalry, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Water balance is completely new to us in Age of Empires 4 at the moment. It won't be in the feudal age at least. We'll keep an eye on that if that's something we can monitor as we progress through the ages. Horsemen getting some scouting intel, a lot of sheep there. Galleys will spot that. Holy smokes, this could be a freebie, a bit of a sheep donation for the English. Not necessarily that he'll take it. We'll have to see. I mean, Beastyqt will have to invest in a scout or pull a scout there to take those sheep. Probably won't though, at least not for now. We're focusing on winning the waters. I heard a stable. I heard something stable. Probably for Vortix, we are on his point of view after all, and is indeed the case, going for horsemen. So Vortix is going for horsemen and spearmen as the army composition. Meanwhile, Beastie dropping that stable. He's not dropping a stable rather, he's got a blacksmith. Just the longbows and the spears. I'm curious to see the barracks there. I was going to go for man-at-arms. Interesting play for the Holy Roman Empire. Transitioning into the man-at-arms will help take care of those spearmen. We'll leave a natural transition to man-at-arms in the Castle Age as well, should he wish to do so. Speaking of Castle Age, let's just take a look at either player heading that direction. Well, Vortix certainly has a lot of food economy coming in. 640 odd food coming in per minute. strong food economy, certainly stronger than Beastyqt's, but that wood line is very precarious, and Vortix has been temporarily pushed off wood. Gonna go towards the southern wood line, be a lot more protected. Oh, this is a big naval engagement here. Demo ships getting involved on either side. This could turn the tide in the fight. Demo ships, looks like that's a good engagement for Vortix. Oh, Beastyqt takes a huge shot there against Vortix's army, but he does manage to pull them back towards the Dr. Healamp. Relatively even as things goes, but holy smokes, that's one hell of an engagement. Being pushed off gold now, Vortix. Certainly on land, Beastie making his presence known. Spearman going to dive in. Might get pressured by the town centre though. Certainly end-to-end fight. Both players really looking to solidify their position in the castle, the Heidelberg Castle land here. $300,000 prize pool on the line. Quarterfinal place at stake here for this match. As the spears again engage on the gold villagers, pushing that back and idling an economy. Just fantastic play by Beastyqt. He's not one of the favourites for nothing. Idling the Ark and Chapel, that is a huge part of this potential victory for Beastie. The great strategy, 4th dock, 5th dock. Yeah, Beastie is not looking to give up water anytime soon. Next engagement there, the demo ship didn't get too much value. Arrow ship's doing well. Oh, demo ship did a decent amount of work there, but another demo ship for Beastyqt gets great value. Huge amounts of HP lost on 2 ships there. Might pick off that Hulk on the retreat. We shall see. Another demo ship coming in the back of that, and looks like Beastyqt smells blood. He wants to get some damage, but there are quite a few reinforcements here for the Holy Roman Empire. Demo ship coming on the east side, kept it hidden. Demo ship getting close, doesn't get the damage it wants though. Now Beastie gonna have to head back home. Another player blinking, another player going for the castle age, don't want to risk it on the east side on the land. Spearman getting a bit of poking and prodding against the man-at-arms. Here comes the naval fight, demo ships, 2 of them, one doesn't get the value it wanted to. Beastie and Vortix both retreat, not wanting to go full in just yet, and the idle time caused by a couple of spearmen is pretty impressive here by Beastie. Vortix keen not to lose any units here. Vortix not opting for wheelbarrow. Beastie does have wheelbarrow. Okay, both players settling down. Maybe neither player going for that castle age. Neither player wants to invest and run the risk of being overrun. Heavy investments coming into water. And this is quite nice for the English in one way because they do have cheaper units. So whilst the economy is looking to be stronger for the Holy Roman Empire, a lot of their strength has been taken out of position. There's no prelates buffing here, and it just feels like, really, Beastyqt playing this fantastic. It has a longbow there harassing as well, and considering the matchup, considering how HRE is so strong, Beastyqt showing us an absolute masterclass on how to play against the Holy Roman Empire. And you do feel like just the way that he's playing here, he does have a good chance of winning, and all the demo ships get a huge value. Holy Roman Empire, those ships are going down, and this could be a snowball effect here. Beastyqt needs to take out that demolition ship. He does. Now he's going to pile on the pressure. Certainly has the units advantage. He's going to pressure here, that is for sure. Holy Roman Empire, this armada, this navy needs to back off. He is losing the fight. Even with reinforcements, might not have enough here. Beastyqt looking to try and push this back, but will he have enough? The reinforcements coming in, 2 demolition ships. This could be a bit of payback with those demolition ships for Vortix. If Beastyqt is not paying attention, which he might not be, he's lost a lot there. Holy smokes, this is really back and forth. Vortix pushing this army back, and actually now Vortix looking stronger here. Defender's advantage might be coming into play here though. The demolition ship trying to go through, it doesn't get off to what it wanted to do, and now this is interesting because whilst Vortix has the military number advantage, well, Beastyqt, that's going to be changing because the reinforcements coming in very quickly. Demolition ships coming in, will they get good hits? Good demo shots there for Beastyqt. On the land though, look at this. Still good idling of the economy there. Villagers are back on wood, getting good value with the prelate. Man-at-arms diving in the main heart of the economy. Going to be taken down by the arrow fire, but looks like water will be being won by Vortix. Look at the miniature count, 51 to 36. It's looking strong. Demolition ships coming out for Beastie though, swinging things the other direction as well. Too close to tell. Looks like Beastyqt is losing some fishing economy. But his food economy looking so strong. This could be a meaningful engagement here. Galleys coming out though, reinforcements for Beastyqt making use of the defender's advantage. Have we seen any food transition on land? It doesn't appear so. Stables coming out. Yeah, huge feudal age aggression here. Again on the waters, both are fighting. I can't look away for a second even. Demolition ships trying to take out the springle ships, does take good damage on the fishing ships, but that's not really necessarily what he wanted. On land, on the gold, what's happening here? Just one longbowman, again, one longbowman getting so much value by idling good sort of 10, 11 villagers. That is not ideal by Vortix. Beastyqt getting so much value from single units. Super impressive. Now, Vortix is holding his own on waters. Again, one longbowman. Does perish, but huge amounts of value, and what a fantastic game number 3 so far in this set. Lots of demolition ships there for Vortix. He's really doubling down on the demos. Either player risking... Ooh, man-at-arms heading into that wood line. That's a problem for Beastie. There are a couple of longbows and the short bows. The villagers do pick up some of those man-at-arms. Going to fight that off. Might need to wall this up a little bit here. Might offer him a lot of protection if he does. Villagers outside of the sphere of influence of the Ark and Chapel. Spears continue the chase with 3 villagers. Villagers want revenge. Could this be a bit of a lull in the game so far? Will both players look to maybe go to that castle age? Well, doesn't look like it for Vortix. He's looking to be aggressive now. Edging forward slightly. Spearmen continue the chase. There'll be wolves on the case. Yep, the army's heading forward. Vortix wants another engagement. And he's looking confident actually. He's got the numbers he wants. Taking the fight now. Has demolition ships in the back. Springle ships as well to tank a lot of the fight. Demolition ships do get off. Oh, that's sort of big. Couple of the big oh, that is a huge demolition ship shot there, and this could be a problem for Beastyqt. A lot of those ships are low health. Not sure if they're going to be repaired in time. This could be a big push here for Vortix. Going to take out a lot of the economy as well with the fishing ships. The trouble for Vortix is that it's very difficult to have that killer blow because of the fact that these docks can produce units, and the defender's advantage is huge. But again, more demolition ships come out. Good engagement, but on land, horsemen idling so much of the economy. Just 2 horsemen, guys. 2 horsemen idles so many villagers. 10 to be exact. That is 30 actually. Sorry, I take it back. It's 30 villagers. 15 in that town centre. This gold vein has gone away. Vortix's economy is in tatters, at least for the time being. He's focusing on the fight, and you can't blame him. Can't look away for a second, especially when the demolition ships are involved. Speaking of which, there is a demolition ship heading forward. Does get a good hit there. A great engagement for Beastie, but we'll lose a couple of hulks there. And it does look a bit precarious for Beastyqt. Maybe looking to be overrun on the waters now. Does have an outpost. He's looking to put some pressure on the land. Does deny that blacksmith. Outpost in a perfect position. Gives the network of castles bonus, which increases the attack speed of the English units by 25%. That is huge on the land. And he's actually walling up behind this Beastyqt, maybe sensing that he can play the late game a little bit. And who would blame him? That is a strong win condition for the English in the super late game. If you can push the game that direction. The trouble for him is that he's losing water slowly. Horseman getting good value again, sort of idling 27 villagers there. It's 1 horseman. I mean, the villagers probably could just turn around and fight that. Oh no, he can't. Not with this number of horsemen now, because there are 6 of them. It's a fantastic outpost. It's something that Vortix needs to get rid of. Beastyqt going to wall up on the west side as well. Going to try and long this game out, and he wants to try and drag this game out to the late Imperial Age and get the enclosures for the infinite gold, and can't blame him. Relics could come into play in the Castle Age, but we are not there yet. Nowhere near, in fact. Could be in for a late one, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you restocked on your food and drinks and got some snacks. Get your popcorn if you can, because we're going to be in for a fascinating one. And don't forget, there's a lot at stake here. A place in the quarterfinals of this $300,000 prize pool Red Bull Wololo Legacy tournament LAN event in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. The biggest LAN event we've had for Age of Empires 4 up to now. Arislit's coming in this outpost makes it a lot harder for the Holy Roman Emperor to deal with that, but well, Beastyqt is not done on water, looking to try and snipe as many fish as he can with 3 galleys. That's a nice play there, dragging the army from Vortix here away from the main group of galleys looking to try and take as many fishing ships as possible. This is a nice play by Beastie. He knows that he's lost water probe predominantly, but he wants to do as much damage as he can economy-wise to try and delay the game. Here we are, Spearman against the man-at-arms. Early man-at-arms, of course, still feud age units. And good value, these three galleys, that is for sure. It will be taken apart, but not without taking the fishing ships down with them. Good value there for Beastie, that is for sure. He stopped the fishing economy, that's for sure. I suspect he could be transitioning into farms very soon. 2,000 wood, Beastyqt. I think he's focusing on micro on the front because he's got a lot of wood he's floating. He needs to rebalance that economy. He is struggling. He's going to have a hard transition to farms, I think. Maybe pocket economies. Holy moly, he's really added more town centres. Got 3 town centres. Village count looking strong. Of course, he's run out of presence on the water, so he does have to transition to wood, to land economy rather. And that's not necessarily a bad idea because, I mean, sure, there's a lot of fishing economy. That's going to be great for the efficiency for the Holy Roman Empire. But if this game does go to the late Imperial Age, enclosures will certainly help Beastyqt and the English. Enclosures, if you're not aware, gives the farmers for the English gold generation. So a farming transition might be something that Beastyqt would look to do eventually in this game, but he will want to time it well because he won't want to invest all the resources into farming economy and let himself get pushed on land. But he's getting good static defenses to delay things if that would be to be the case. Concern for Beastyqt might be the 2 barracks that are producing those man-at-arms. Only counter to the man-at-arms really at this stage, a hard counter anyway, at least will be crossbows, but you don't get that until the castle age. Looks like Vortix is looking to take down the docks to try and cement this position on water. Slowly but surely getting there. Looks like the second food upgrade, or the first food upgrade, horticulture coming in for Beastyqt. He needs another source of food. Rather surprisingly though, the source of food income for Beastyqt not too bad. It's actually kind of keeping on par with the Holy Roman Empire. Trying to get more outposts. Try and reduce or halt the progression of the army here for the Holy Roman Empire. That will get denied, that outpost. Might be an outpost that has to be deleted. We shall see if Beastie does that. Slowly being pushed back. It might need to invest in some stone walls. Now going for some stone and gold there, Vortix on the right side. Take down that outpost first. We'll get there, but not without casualties. Ooh, demolition ship does come out for Beastyqt. Might need to hide underneath or inside a dock to heal up. He's going to head forward. Does get taken apart though. Springle ship's doing the work it needs to do. Another demo ship. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a galley. 2 galleys coming out. We don't know about that. They will be hard countered by the Springle ships. We talked about how these Springle ships aren't that great, but in this number, when you're facing up against this number, they should be able to do well. Although these are going to trade well, especially if they pick off another Springle ship. Demolition ship gets taken out. So good value there for Beastyqt in total. Does take another hull down, and you can see that the arrow ships are not too bad, especially with the blacksmith upgrades if he has them, and he does have a steeled arrow. Our outpost will be going down. And the game is now starting to prolong. Both players not wanting to rush anything just yet, but possibly Vortix might be going for a faster, well I say fast Imperial, it's not really a fast Imperial, but might be looking to transition into Imperial Age and the Palace of Swabia. We shall see. Looks like he's getting a lot of man-at-arms though, looking to double down in the feudal age for now. Doesn't have the food economy, neither players do. They're both focusing on building up that economy. Speaking of which, that third town centre really helping out Beastyqt. There's the farming transition for the English. And again, Beastyqt not giving up water entirely. He wants to keep some presence. He wants to keep Vortix investing on water. It's just his way of staying in the game. And we see a full archer ship transition, and this is a... Wait a minute. We talked about this earlier. A full archer ship transition could do incredibly well. Demo ships won't get any value, and the Springle ships, there's just not enough of them. And look, this is a trade that archer ships should not be winning. That's a lot of navy that suddenly Beastyqt has developed. Vortix took his eye off the ball a little bit, might lose a lot of economy. This is a way back in for Beastyqt. If he takes out the fishing economy, that's the food transition that Vortix will not want to have had to do, because he doesn't get cheap farms like the English do. Demo ships don't get the value that they want to. It does get one though. Does get good value with that one. And this is a problem for Vortix. He's slowly losing the water. This was unprecedented, but Beastyqt pushing back now. They're taking out fishing ships. This is a problem for Vortix. This could be the start of a snowball effect because Beastyqt might reinvest in fishing ships again. Lots of demo ships. Well, just one demo ship, but there were fishing ships there involved. And archer ships, we just see how full archer ships can do so well. And the north, though, man-at-arms do break in. That's a problem. That's an issue for Beastyqt to deal with. But those are still feudal age man-at-arms. They're not as tanky as the castle age ones. They'll still do some damage, but King's Palace has been put down by Beastyqt, going to the castle age with 19 villagers building that King's Palace. And, well, this is fantastic by Beastyqt. He's taken out so much of the food economy. Look at this food economy for Beasty. Look at the rates coming in. 2,000 food per minute. And Vortix is only down to 500 food per minute. That is absolutely huge because Vortix is going to struggle massively to get to the castle age. And Beastyqt has played this so fantastically well. And he's holding this back. The man-at-arms are losing the valley. They're trapped in. Horsemen will deal with that. With the longbows in behind. And Beastyqt playing this incredibly well. What a masterclass. And there it is. Vortix taps out. He knows he is beat. What a fantastic end to the set. Beastyqt pulls it back and he qualifies to the quarterfinals for the Red Bull Wololo Legacy. We'll be seeing him progress to the tournament. What a fantastic set. Hope you guys enjoyed this set. And if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more casted games from the Red Bull Wololo Legacy, do click the right hand cast screen now. Take you to the playlist of all my casted games from this tournament. Take care and see you next time.